I just gotta be honest. I am very tired of watching the same thing every week, right? We see the Visionaries every week main event in a tag team match against Cody Rhodes and his best friend, or Jey Uso and his brother or his best friend. It's very repetitive. Now, there were some decent moments in this show, and I will be talking about it when I'm recapping. But man, it's just the same thing every week. And this is mainly about the Visionaries, right? Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, right? Like every week they do the same shit. Every week on Monday Night Raw we see the main event. And now basically every week on SmackDown they come in and fucking main event. Like, we don't have to see them every week, right? Especially when their characters don't develop. They don't cut promos. Nothing about their character. Like, we don't know anything about them. Why are they fighting every week? What are they getting out of it? Are they fighting for championships? What is their storyline? Why are they fighting for Seth Rollins? Like, we don't get any of these, like, none of these questions are answered. There honestly is no chemistry between any of these three guys. Sometimes I forget Seth Rollins is the leader of this faction. Seth Rollins is even in the, like, it's so stupid, man, because there's barely any dialogue between the three of them, right? Which, to me, it makes no sense. It makes no... Guys, let's just start the recap. So we start off with Cody Rhodes coming out. What do you want to talk about? Absolutely nothing, because he has nothing to talk about. There's no fucking storylines. So Paul Heyman comes out and interrupts him. He has the Visionaries with him. And he basically says, Randy Orton's going to turn on you. That's basically all he says. And he says that's not a prediction, that is a prophecy. So yeah, Randy Orton is probably going to turn on Cody Rhodes. Hopefully... I honestly don't even know where that's going to lead to, but we'll see what happens from that. At least they're trying to start something. But this has always been a thing. I feel like, was it Paul Heyman that did this before? Someone else did the same shit to Cody Rhodes. Oh, you can't trust Randy Orton. Randy Orton's gonna take it from you. And I remember Randy Orton staring at the title. They did this shit before, like months ago. So the fact that they're just doing it again, this is all filler, guys. There's like a 60% chance they don't do anything with the storyline. So, I won't be surprised if that happened. We then get a backstage segment with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. And honestly, at least it was not an interview, right? It was just a backstage segment between two characters that developed a story, right? So The Miz was basically saying, what happened last week? You didn't break up the pin. Carmelo Hayes was basically saying, you know what? I'm done with this tag team shit. Respectfully, I want to move on. Right? And The Miz, obviously, he took offense to this. As we will see in the next segment, is when Sami Zayn is ready for his open challenge match. Carmelo Hayes comes out, basically cuts a promo saying, I'm going to beat you this time. I don't have someone holding me back. And while he's talking, we get The Miz. He, what's this finisher move? I think, skull crashing finale? Something like that. All right, he hits his finishing move on Carmelo. Carmelo Hayes is out cold. He will not be participating. We then get Alistair Black. And at the time, I was actually excited to see him because, he wasn't going to have to fight or beef with Damian Priest. But of course, during the match, he gets distracted because Damian Priest comes out. And for some reason, is it a crush? Is it lust? I really don't know. They both stare at each other, and Alistair Black just couldn't, focus on the match. He just had to stare at Damian Priest for some reason. I really don't understand why. And he loses the match. Then afterwards, Damian Priest throws him through the announcement table. Now, if you were to ask me, why are they fighting? I have no fucking idea. But Damian Priest later in the show did say they have a last man standing match next week or whenever. So, yeah, we have that. Hopefully that's the end of this feud because they have been feuding for like 3 months and there's been no story. So, can we wrap this up? We then get a tag match between Zoruka versus the Secret Hervers, and Zoruka wins. Not much to talk about there. We then get the signing between both champions, Stephanie Baker and Tiffany Stratton. Now, the promos between both of them, pretty boring, right? Pretty standard. They both have respect for each other. That bullshit. When that ends, as Tiffany Stratton is walking out, she gets jumped by Gilia. And I haven't seen Gilia in a while, and I think this was a good way to reintroduce her, right? She has a manager talking for her. I don't know her manager's name. I think it's Kiana James, something like that. I don't know. I think this was a decent segment. Gilead coming and jumping Tiffany Stratton really saved the segment, because if Tiffany Stratton just walked away and they just had this respect segment, that would just be a waste of time. We then get a match between Los Garza versus Javon Evans and Rey Fenix, and this was a good match. I mean, we have all these high flyers, so they're going to make it an exciting match. Javon Evans gets his first win on the main roster, which is nice. I do have a problem, though. They did have a vignette for Jacob Fatu, and I just don't understand why they always do this, right? Like, we don't need vignettes for characters that we already know, like, especially if they're going to say the same shit, right? Jacob Fatu basically just talked about, I'm all gas, no brakes, I'm this, blah, blah, blah. If someone do that, I'm going to do that back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the same shit. Like, we know, right? I'd rather him be in person and say that than it just be a vignette, and it kind of just feels, like it doesn't really mean anything, right? Instead, have Javon Evans cut a backstage promo or have a vignette of him talking about himself and introducing the character, so the fans, when they're watching his match, they know who he is. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. I think that's common sense. That's how you introduce characters, through these vignettes. That's the easiest way to do it. But instead, we're reintroducing characters that we already know, and it's kind of just a time waster. We then have a backstage segment with the Street Profits, and they're basically, trying to talk themselves into, oh, I trust him, we do this for each other, some dumb shit. We're brothers. And then randomly a TV just pops on behind them, and instead of just walking away and just ignoring it, they want to watch this television set of the Wyatt family, basically just saying, oh, are you going to be brothers when you lose? That's basically all they're saying. And man, there was such a faster way and much better way to just separate the Street Profits. Like, this story is just so drawn out. It just really doesn't. I don't understand it, because they're trying to, like, psychologically get in their head and mentally fuck with them, but it's like they're not really doing anything. They're just whispering shit in their ears. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess if that's reality. We then have the main events. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton versus the Visionaries. The Visionaries get the win. And like I said in the beginning, they're trying to push these guys to be the main eventers, right? These guys are main eventing every fucking show. SmackDown, Raw, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For some reason, Seth Rollins is very angry, though, right? He's shaken, and he wants to, beat up and inflict more pain and damage to Cody Rhodes. I guess leading into their match, he wants a little advantage, I'm guessing, right? Paul Heyman tells him, don't you do it. Don't you do it. While he's saying that, Seth Rollins is shaking even more ferociously, right? He then runs into the ring. He's about to do a curb stomp. Cody Rhodes jukes the fuck out of him and hits him with the crossroads. And that's how we end the show. Now, I don't understand why we constantly have to have Cody Rhodes be Superman at the end. But I guess if that's how they want Cody to be booked, then that's how he's booked, right? Like, I really don't understand it, right? Why do you want your heels to look like a joke and your face to constantly win? Constantly win, and is never the underdog, right? I feel like your face is supposed to be the underdog in some type of ways, you know what I mean? But it's whatever, man. That's going to be it for this review, right? It was just a very mid show. I'm very tired. I'm just so tired of this main event scene. Like, I just want something new. We need new stars. We need new top fucking characters, or at least create more characters. Like Braun Strowman. Oh, sorry, I keep fucking up his name. Bronson Reed. What is his character? Braun Breaker. What is his character? Like, you're not just a dog, bro. You know what I mean? Do something else. Have a what are they fighting for? Right? Are they going to try to kick Seth Rollins out of the faction? Like, show us some more. Like, show us dialogue between these characters, please. And I catch you guys. Peace out.